Hello. Before we start, we like to show you the screensaver. Okay, the screensaver with the Wing Chun classical riding. This one. Okay, and there's another one. So you can get it from the website. Okay, if you would like to have this. Okay. Today I'd like to talk about a few things, which is I have some serious discussions with some of our friends, and I think need to be shared with you, so you see how I look at things, and again, I'm no God, so I cannot be totally correct. Okay, I would like to show you how I look at it so that you have a reference. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you is it is according to the 1850s era of China. Okay, and I always like to use it as a reference so that we don't interpret things our way, and but we have a reference on what is presenting in that era of the 1850s. Okay, the first thing is, lately I have been discussed with some friends about the Neigong, Gong, okay, or internal development, internal Gong, external Gong, or it's called in Cantonese Neigong and Gong, okay. And for me, this stuff is really confusing sometimes because people define their own ways based on how they look at things, and it can be get really distorted. Okay, and say there's a saying called 外练筋皮骨，内练精气神. Externally cultivate the skin or muscle, sinews, and bone. Internally cultivate the jing, the essence, the qi, and then the shen. Okay, so that's the saying like this. And people sometimes break this saying, saying that okay, if it is externally trained, the muscle, the sinews, and the bone, that's called Wai Gong. Okay, and internally, if we train the qi, the shen, the jing, the essence, then it's Nei Gong. Well, is it true? No, it cannot be true. Why? Because in order to train the bone, one need the qi. Okay. So what is the evidence I speak about this? If you look at either Tai Chi Quan or according to Zhen Manqing or the bone marrow washing or Xi Sui Jing, all require the qi. Okay, it's not that you just train the bone externally. Now, if you train the bone, you want to cultivate the bone, then you need the qi, the whole bunch of stuff. Okay, and if you train the sinews, okay, even though it's externally, it's influencing the qi and blood flow of the body. Okay, so sinews training is actually a very important training in Chinese martial arts. Okay, so Even they say, oh yeah, externally train the sinews, the bone, the muscle, the skin, and internally train the jing, the essence, the qi, and then the shen. All these six is one piece. It cannot be broken apart like that. Like you say, oh yeah, this is the bone, sinews, and the muscle. This is external, and then the jing qi shen, that's internal. That is not is going to work. Okay. So okay. And another thing about this so-called Neigong too, I like to call, for an attentions. In China, in mid-1800s, there is a sutra from the Xing Yi Neigong. It's called Neigong Jing, Internal Gong Sutra. There's 4 of them, or we call Neigong Si Jing. Okay, this Neigong Si Jing have detailed descriptions on the body, the momentum, the posture, the qi flow, and of course the mind. Okay, have that. So this is the writer. Was born in 1840, something like that. Mr. Song of Xing Yi Neigong. If you compare what he's writing to the white crane of Fujian's, how the requirement for the body handling and everything, you can see some similarity there. Okay. So the reason I bring this up is in ancient times, 1850 times, there is a standard of what people call Neigong. Is very different than us today. Who like we can define anything we want. Okay. Okay. And for me, I look at that is the issue, the reason why I select the 5-layer in Yigam transform to represent things. Because I think Wai Gong, Nei Gong, everybody design their way, and then the whole thing become really confused, and we really don't know what we are talking about sometimes. So the Yigam transform, the 5 layers, the physical, that include your joints, your sinews, your bones. Okay. Second is your mind. Okay, mind layer. You involve your awareness and so forth, so forth. The third is breathing. You involve different type of breathing included there. The fourth is the qi. You involve that. The fifth is the momentum, the jing, and the strategy of the fighting, of the fighting art, of the combat art, or the martial arts. So this be able to convert what is talking about in 1840, 1850s, that era, to our time. Without that, we can go argue or define our own Neigong, Wai Gong, this and that. It is us. It is not what those people are talking about. So for me, in my humble opinion, instead of calling Wai Gong, Nei Gong, let's compare apple with apple, pear with pears. Set up all the 5 layers, and if you want to compare, say for example, the Tai Chi reeling Gong with Xiu Lim Tao, you go through with the Wing Chun Xiu Lim Tao, you go through layer with layer, see whether they cover both. Or if you like to compare the Xing Yi, the Neigong Jing's content, layer with layers, right? So that way we know where do we stand, Where is Xiu Lim Tao stand? In other words, okay. I think this is critical because if we start keeping our own interpretations and we're not aware of what happened in 1850, see, now what I'm talking about involve Xing Yi, involve White Cane, involve Wing Chun, involve everybody, is involved the Chinese martial arts culture at 1850, not present today. And today, if you talk about Qi, people laugh at you and say, well, what Qi? But in 1800s, there is a mechanics. Okay. We today, most of people, we don't know what it is, and thus we make our judgment on it because we really don't know. Okay. So speak of this Xiu Lim Tao, the Wing Chun Queen Xiu Lim Tao, the set Xiu Lim Tao. Well, if you look at it in terms of these 5 layers, you compare with the different arts, be it from Xing Yi, from Tai Chi, from Mei, from White Crane, it meets every layers. Why do I know that? Because we have 1850s, the Red Book, writing, the one I just showed you just now in the screensaver beginning. It tells you that. Okay. So there's no reason to say, oh yeah, this Xiu Lim Tao has do not have Wai Gong, do not have Neigong, blah blah blah. No, it's not true. The truth is, by evidence, it fulfills the 5 layers. Okay. So this also verified that, like Grandmaster like Yip Man, when they practice the Xiu Lim Tao for hours, okay, or the legend saying that the Sampai Fat sections is training internal, those things. It verified that in details, in specifics. It is not just talk. It is a process. It is a way to make things happen. Okay. So I want to tell you this is because the 3 sets, the 3 Wing Chun Queen sets, Xiu Lim Tao Chang Qiu Beauty, and the Yip Gam single set, those are the root of the Wing Chun Queen. If we do away those sets, we will end up with nothing, or empty and hollow. And in my opinion, we need to go back to understand what is this single set or 3 sets is teaching, is developing. Because as we know, on the other hand, you have the Xing Yi Quan, you have the Neigong Jing, you have the White Crane, they have their internal training and so forth. Okay? And of course, internal training, it can be the soft type or the hard type. Okay? It's still internal arts. Okay? So I think this is an important deal. If we're doing away our roots, the sets, and the teaching of the sets, then we actually kill Wing Chun Queen. Okay. So that is something which is really important in the standpoint of traditional Chinese martial art traditions. The ancestor stuff, we don't want to touch it. If we don't understand, we preserve it until somebody come and understand what it is. As what I said, right? Right now we have preserved the Yip Gam Xiu Lim Tao set with its writing. We have the snake crane lineage set and writing. We have that. Will there be a distortion here and there? Sure, it might be. However, the big picture, we have that. So if we preserve that, okay, and like for example in my case, I got the Mei Zheong writing, so then I can decode the Yigong writing. But before that, there's a lot of things it's not clear with me or even with my Sifu generations, because it's passed so long down. It's 1850, 1840s, right? And by looking into the Xing Yi Neigong Jing, the Neigong Four Sutra, we know, oh, at that time they are looking at this stuff. So this is real. So this is how to get there. And this is what they mean. So then we be able to understand this. Otherwise, if we per our today's thinking, we will never figure it out, because we have a different thinking, different era. Okay, so this is the Gong. This is about the Xiulin Tao. Now let's shift gear. If we want to bring this Xiulin Tao teaching, the one set, long set, or the three set teaching, to today's world, we can bring it in to today's world with physics. Okay. Here is what in my mind I share with you. I can no, please do not take me as perfect or right. It's just an idea, so you can see what it is, and I just hope the future generations develop more and grow big. Okay, and don't have to follow me and don't want to follow me because I don't know much. Okay. First, we know the Wing Chun, the big philosophy, the ultimate, is using the center, guarding the center, or capture the center while guarding the center. That is the ultimate, the philosophy. And that philosophy comes with a momentum of capture the center, guarding the center. Okay? The momentum. And the momentum, due to different conditions, split into three types. You can split into the three types based on condition. There's number one is a direct, capture the center line using the center line. The second thing is runabout, capture the center line using the center line. The third is recovery, capture the center line and guarding the center line. So where is this from? Well, if you look at the three sets, isn't that they tell you in the three sets? The whole training of the three sets can sum up to that. And if you master, then you only do one. Capture the center line, capture the center, guarding the center. If you master that, you don't need all everything, and everything is automatically, naturally respond according to the situations. Okay. So these three types of momentum is the soul of the three sets, or the souls of the single long sets. Okay. Now, that is nice. And we can actually, going one step further, we know, in order to support these three types of momentum, we need the three types of the Jing as shown in the three sets. The direct coil spring, the twisted coil spring, or the refined twisted coil spring type, three types. Okay, now we can transfer that to physics. What is the momentum? Momentum is the product of velocity and mass. That is momentum. What is the force? Force is momentum divided by time. That is force. Okay. So force is lick. Okay. Leg is force. So what's Jing? Jing is the change of force over change of time. Okay? So changing force is Jing. Force is force. So force is leg, changing force is Jing. And your momentum need the force to support on it. It's just like you have an object there, you need something to pull and pull, the force to pull and push to make it move. Okay? Now force is what? Force again is mass, okay, multiplied with the accelerations. F, the famous equation F equal to ma, right? Okay, now this is critical because martial art is about the play in momentum. We like it or not, it has to be moving. Okay, play with momentum, the momentum. Now momentum, you need the force to support it. You need to deal with the changing of the force. And in order to have force, you have the mass and the accelerations. Okay. So now today's plain physics language. How do you get the force? How do you deal with the momentum? How do you deal with the force change? How do you deal with the accelerations to get the force? Okay. Then it has to go down. How is your body handle this thing? If the body cannot handle this thing, then there's no way to handle the momentum, no way to have the force, no way to have the change of the force. And there's no way to accelerate it. Okay? So you see that it is plain physics now. The body had to be able to do it. So we talk about the snake body crane limbs. We talk about the body is the 7 joints, it's like 7 coil springs. For what? There is for handling the momentum, handling the force generations, handling the force change, handling the accelerations. Same with the twisted coil spring. Same with the refined twisted coil spring. Okay. So if this can fit into the, we call the guiding center using center direct momentum. You say this is the direct. This is the roundabout. Okay. This is the using the elbow to strike. When I lost oops already, I lost my conditions as the recovery. Okay. So the body has to implement this via the coil spring. If we model the body as a coil spring. Okay. Now, so we know today the 3 sets or the long sets is developing this thing. So, in my opinion, the 3 sets and the 1 set is actually answering the questions of accelerations, force generations, force change, momentum handling. All this, it is not just lata, tanta. It is not that. It is more than that. Because now you go into from a symbolic or labor world of tanta lata, okay, into a physics, the world of the physics. Okay. So another thing, it brings out that usually people ask me, so how about the short Jing of Wing Chun? or in Jing or Wing Chun? Well, in Jing or Wing Chun is just an impulse, a fast accelerations, force change. Again, back to the accelerations. So often people ask me how to do it, or something people do it, and sometimes I send them back to do the hand swing exercise or the YKT, and they don't like it. Okay. Why I do that? Because when you handle the impulse or very quick or very fast accelerations of your body, all the joints, the 7 joints, if it is the direct Jing, the steering power type direct Jing, we don't talk about the twisted coil spring, but the direct coil spring, all joint has to be intact. Otherwise, when you accelerate, if certain joint screw up or jam, you damage it. And it is very easy to damage what? Knee joints. If you get a lot of Tai Chi practitioners in the Asia, a lot of them have knee problems because they load the knee. In Wing Chun player, a lot of people get knee problems and the back problem. Why? They load the joints. And in order to accelerate, in order to generate this impulse, the body has to be in a very springy state. Okay? So that's what happened. It has a reason. It has a reason. From the teaching of the 1850, the Neigong Jing or the Neigong, transfer to the Tan Da Lap Da, transfer to the momentum, and get into the physics. It's plain, no mysterious at all. Okay, and so I look at that this all thing can be really scientific, really engineering, and really know specifically what is doing what contribute to what. And hopefully some days our Chi Sao will be like the playing badminton. It's no longer you hit me, I hit you, but be able to handle different types of momentum, different types of force change, different type of impulse. And it'll be fun because it's not about hurting people to show that we are we are better, but about can we catch that ball? Okay, so that is how I think. And the last thing, of course, you know, people don't like to hear me talk about this thing, but I feel the older I am, I feel it's important, which is the Wing Chun code of conduct. When I was young, I never cared for this thing, but when I get old, now I believe Grandmaster Yit Man must have a reason, a good reason to put the code of conduct there. Because this deal with another parts of us human beings. We just talk about the accelerations, the physics, that's dealing with parts of the mechanics of it. But then we are human beings, we have emotion, we have sentiment, we have thinking, and a lot of times these things screw up too. We think we have control, but we really don't. So we need to follow certain things. You know, this is according to the Chinese that is saying that 没有规矩不能成方圆. Without rules, you will not be able to become certain objects, okay, or certain useful objects. So there's rules needed. Okay. So for the benefits of the practitioners, not from the standpoint of mind control or the tribal cultures or certain things. So for me, I look at that as all this from the Gong side, from the momentum, the physics side, and then to the more the conduct, the code of conduct side. It is very ready for this new high-tech era. It is nothing mysterious at all. Okay, so this is what I like to share with you today. Again, it's only my idea for your reference. Please do not take it as the truth, because truth can change, and we all can be better every day. Just sharing with you what I think, okay? Because there's a few incidents happened with friends and talking different friends and so forth. So I have this emotion to share this part with you. Thank you.